Hark! What's that I hear? A potential transphobe typing in the comments about how I'm, in their eyes, not a woman and that basic biology backs them up? Feel free to point and laugh at any you see down below. And for those of you that were previously unaware that I was trans, nice to meet you. I have a dick and boobs.
Dysphoria, which is a term that I use throughout the speech, not gender identity.
You sound like a
disorder,
bozo, bro. And you get no pussy, and you can't even make your wife wet, bro. So what's good?
Today, I'll be telling you about all of my favorite transphobe L's. Similarly to an NBA YoungBoy profile picture on Twitter, a transphobe will always miss and make themselves a target of internet ratioing and mocking. In nearly all cases, they double down instead of backing down or realizing that they were wrong. For the unaware, transphobia is simply the fear or disliking of trans people. Trans people, like myself, are people who don't conform to the gender they were assigned at birth, whether that be male to female, female to male, or any non-binary person. It's genuinely harmless, but so many people will die on the hill of it being the work of the most evil, the most foul, and the most disgusting monsters in the universe. Like, these God-fearing half-wits would rather kiss Satan on the lips than be in the same town as someone who just casually swallows estrogen every now and then, as prescribed by their doctor, of course. If these people put as much effort into crying about how they think that Jenny, the Twitter user who has a penis, is a child groomer as they did with crying about the transphobic politicians who actually are child groomers, such as this man who started dating his now wife when she was 16 and he was well into his 30s, we'd be living a better life. But instead, transphobes would rather block those who ask them why they were on the Epstein flight logs. Hi, I'm Melody No Surname. Pronouns are she, her, I'm not a furry, and I want to tell you the goofiest transphobe incidents. Everything from I don't have pronouns and ranting in a truck for 45 minutes about how the world isn't the way they want it solely because their application has more than 2 gender options, to white women crying that some vaginal products are gender neutral in the entirety of the state of Texas and how it should be nuked. Without any further ado, let us get into it. This is J.K. Rowling, award-winning author, scriptwriter, and influence to millions upon millions of children all over the world with her series of books known as Harry Potter. Net worth of over $1 billion, the 196th richest person in all of the UK, creator of one of the most recognizable media franchises of all time. Her books about the boy who survived, the boy who lived, were made into movies, video games, pop figures, stamps, t-shirts, pancake mix, cologne, whatever the hell this is, puzzles, stickers, cups. There's websites dedicated to it. There's a real place you can go to that's based on these books. J.K. Rowling is a brilliant person who has created an empire based on this series. She's also transphobic. Yes, the woman who tweeted out how Dumbledore was actually gay and how Hermione was actually black does not appreciate women who have penises. She's not all bad though. Here's some outstanding, courageous tweets she's made. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. The penised individual who you is a woman. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't to hate the truth. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic towards trans women for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e., to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is a nonsense. She's saying sex is real. What? Either I didn't read that right the first 7 times, or she's unable to make a sentence that actually makes sense. Is she old enough to experience dementia? How old is she? She's 56. It starts in your 60s. She's basically there. Along with making nonsensical and transphobic tweets advocating for the rights of cis women, we call that a TERF. I was threatened with a gun gift from a trans woman this morning. This is a regular occurrence. She's also written a book where the main character is a man who dresses up as a woman to kill women. Speaks volumes, Rowling, since trans women sexually assaulting people is so uncommon that it's a bit hard for anyone to find anything in the vast sea of false accusations and assumptions made by folks like yourself. Did you know that J.K. Rowling's address is public information? And did you know that you can go to it with no consequences? A group of trans women went to her house, took pictures in front of it, and posted said pictures to Twitter, only to get banned from the site. The trans people who she demonized for taking a funny picture in front of her house, which, again, you can find on Wikipedia, may have been banned from Twitter but weren't charged with anything as, again, they did nothing wrong. Did I already mention that her address is public information and that literally anyone with an internet connection can find it in less than a minute of using Google? Type in J.K. Rowling house and go to maps to see for yourself. Well, in the middle of writing this script, J.K. Rowling did more shenanigans by welcoming her friend who was banned from Twitter back to the site. The tweet her friend made to get banned was, quote, "I preferred AIDS."
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
It didn't castrate innocent gay boys, and I knew how to fight it. A deadly virus is preferable to the gender ghouls of Stonewall and mermaids. Is her friend also experiencing dementia? J.K. Rowling is an insane elderly shit shoot who's so high off her own fumes that the cast of Harry Potter has disowned her. Praise be upon those who burned their Harry Potter books instead of selling them for $20 on Facebook Marketplace like I did. In late 2019, the company Procter & Gamble removed the Venus symbol from their branding to be more inclusive to all people who have vaginas and not just cis women. Keep in mind, only the Venus symbol was removed. Nothing else changed. Of course, however, cis women got real angry about this. This is complete nonsense from always. Seriously, what on earth is this world coming to when a product specifically and only for women removes the sign for a woman because it's deemed offensive? So that's always boycotted in my family, where there are 5 females. Men cannot have periods. Stop erasing women. I hate that line. It's so annoying. Why do people keep saying erasing women? Shut up. Seriously? Unless you're sticking a tampon up your nostril for a nosebleed, those without a uterus is just making a scene for attention. Stop already! This shit is getting ridiculous. I don't like the color yellow for clothing, but you don't see me throwing a tantrum and get my way to have all clothing makers stop using yellow fabric. I'm not against LGBT or anything, but I think the request of eliminating the female symbol is insulting for women who feel they are represented by that symbol. Suddenly we matter less? The symbol is banned? That's ridiculously unfair. I'm pretty sure females are the only one who use this product. This is getting ridiculous. A lot of the other responses were just, only women have periods. Not only do these transphobic people believe that in order to validate their own existence, they need to have a symbol on their pussy products, but they can't make a valid argument to justify their anger. I can't find this one I saw back when this was big news, but it was something along the lines of, if you were a woman, you'd understand. If I was a cis woman with as much privilege as you, I wouldn't go complaining about such an oppressed minority getting such a small win. Go worry about real issues that women face. When you're already part of a group of people that deal with bullshit on the daily, you shouldn't be pissed at groups that deal with much more bullshit getting a little victory. And remember, it was only removing a symbol from the packaging. I need my vagina items to specify there for me, damn it!
Certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pull-out game weak.
I couldn't really find a cool way to fit Ben Shapiro in here, but since he clearly belongs, let me slide him in. He can't make his wife come and he's completely self-aware of how much of a dumbass he makes himself out to be, but still makes the world's most god-awful takes on gender.
So, how do you say that some people don't have privilege when you basically just said that trans people aren't valid? They're not a thing. They're just girls pretending to be boys or boys pretending to be girls.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, someone's excited. Okay.
Biological, but gender is a completely different thing.
No, gender is not disconnected from sex. So,
my favorite Ben Shapiro moment was when he refused to gender someone correctly during whatever the hell this is, and nearly got his whiny baby ass punted across the stage.
You're not educated on genetics?
Would you like to discuss the genetics or no?
Well, no,
what
no.
are your genetics, sir?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
You're a little
You know
man.
me?
You're a little man.
His popularity is only existent because he's one of the people who make bad takes who have a large enough platform to make said takes on that people who resonate the same ideas as he does will follow, so their smooth brains feel satisfied that someone famous agrees with them. Anyways, I want to move on. I don't really have much else to say on this guy, though I will add that I wish we lived in the alternate timeline with Fim Shapiro. When I was 19, I went to visit someone via plane. On the way back, I had a connecting flight in Texas. I made the mistake of going to the wrong gate and needed to get a new flight back. I went to the service desk, and as I was waiting, I overheard one guy get a free hotel room while he waited for his new flight, since he had also missed his. I'm just told to wait 12 hours in the airport until my new flight arrives. I'm already on 24 hours of no sleep, but regardless, I end up waiting all the extra 12 hours by waiting in the airport in a Discord call with my friends. I get to the gate for the new flight. A little bit later, the gate changed 1 hour before the flight. I walk to the new gate. 50 minutes left, it changes again. I make my way to the new one, but it's a half-hour walk. Huge airport. Lots of Pokestops in there as well. I get halfway there and see the gate has changed again. Back to the other side of the airport. Start heading back to it. 20 minutes left and I see it changed again. I walk back to the other side where the new gate was and ask the lady at the desk near the gate if it would change again. She said it won't. Less than 10 minutes and it finally stopped changing. I board the flight, pass out, and get home. I then said to myself that Texas was the worst state and that I would never go back to it. So, why bring this up? Texas is worse.
It is the latest fight over transgender rights. And once again, the epicenter is Texas.
Transgender kids in Texas are facing new barriers to accessing health care.
Kids could be ripped from their homes from parents who love them.
Tonight, from the courthouse to the Capitol.
Save our families! Save our families!
Protesters in Texas rallying against alleged child abuse investigations targeting parents of transgender youth. This one outside a hearing on the issue held Wednesday.
It is absolutely unconscionable and cruel and unjust. It cannot stand.
Texas banning gender-affirming care for children and thinking it's okay to sentence their parents to actual jail time for doing it is one of the worst things to happen in modern times. Luckily, it seems it's being questioned as unconstitutional, so there's hope that Texas kids and their families won't be under such bullshit. This topic makes me want to vomit. Let's change the subject. The LGB is a group of people who believe that trans people are ruining the reputation of the queer community. The gender ghouls are the cause of the homo teardown. What these transphobic asshats are doing is dumbed down to trying to kick the T off of the label despite how much trans people have done for the rights of the LGBT. Do you think they know that LGBT rights as a whole wouldn't be around in modern day as much as it is, regardless of how much disrespect we get nowadays, if it wasn't for black trans women?
Marsha P. Johnson is the Rosa Parks of the LGBT movement.
My gay rights now!
Fuck these types of people. All you're doing is making yourself look bad by hating on the people who are literally under the same threat you are. The heterosexual transphobes don't like you think they do. You're the weird kid they make fun of when you're not looking, I promise. All over the internet, the real world, and in circles of fucking morons, there's loads of people who just don't understand that everyone has pronouns and that it's hard to just not use them? Pronouns suck. Quote by Elon Musk stole my Pride Month video title, fuck him. Anyways, his wife at the time replied and seemed pretty distraught. I don't know if she was aware that leaving him for a trans woman would end up resulting in him having a midlife crisis. It's like him going bald again. The trans teacher waiting to tell the first graders a fun fact about themselves. Edward R. Gallagher, former United States Navy SEAL, waiting to tell everyone about the time he came under national attention after he was charged in September of 2018 with 10 offenses under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, the most prominently reported offense being that he fatally stabbed an injured 17-year-old ISIS prisoner and photographed himself with the corpse and sent the photo to friends. Oopsies. Yeah, transphobic people are the best at being the worst at making comprehensible sentences and valid arguments against anything. I may be from Ohio, but my education surpasses those of the crowd of people who think that banning trans rights will save the pedophile problem while they sleep with their 13-year-old wife. Transphobia is just so odd to me. I know it's not anything new to hate people for differences in beliefs and actions, but modifying one's body is such a common thing among so many groups of people. The average rich American will spend hundreds of thousands for body modifications and deem it okay, but the second I want to put a little blue pill down my throat, I get told I'm the one who deserves eternal damnation? Enough whining from me. If you're transphobic and you sat through this whole video, let me know by leaving a comment and boasting this video in the algorithm. You know what they say, bigger number, better person.